Alrighty, y'all. So before we get into the tour video, I just wanted to make a note here, just because I was watching the edit and I kind of was like, oh, I wonder how they. Very often in this video, I say like, oh, we built or we needed or we worked on. Just to clarify, this entire world is a single player world. I'm the only one that plays on it. I'm the only one that's ever played on it. It's all the build stuff has always been done by myself. I say we because I stream the world a lot, and so it's a chat interaction thing. I'm just like, all right, what are we gonna work on today? And it's like, what am I gonna work on? But what is like chat gonna come along and work on with me? So anytime you hear me say we, it's just me just thinking I'm still streaming at the time and just kind of trying to incorporate chat and stuff. But the whole world is a single player world. It is just me and just myself that has built and worked on it for the past 1,200 some hours. But yeah, I just want to make a note just in case at the start of the video. So anyway, enjoy the tour video. You guys are gonna love it, and I will see you guys after. All right, what's up everybody? Welcome to another YouTube video. I know we don't do these videos very often, but when I do them, I try to do something pretty cool. And this video, it is time for our yearly world tour. So every year at the end of the year, I do a world tour, and I aim to show off the entire world that we've been building, or that I've been building, and basically everything that's been updated and all that stuff that we've worked on in the past year. So for anyone that's new to the channel or new to this series, a little bit of background on this world here. I started this world back in January 20th, 2024. So we are actually just about to end our second year straight playing on this world, which is pretty cool. We're gonna be starting year 3. It is a 30-day month world with custom, I think it's like 40% land cover or something like that. Other than that, it's pretty much vanilla world gen. I do have some mods on the world, but they're mostly quality of life mods with a few content mods just to keep things kind of entertaining. And I will include a mod list in the description down below if you're willing to check that out. In total, in the past 2 years, we have accumulated 1,263 hours played on this world. I do very little AFKing, if any at all. I try to avoid pretty much all forms of it. So that is 1,263 straight hours of playtime, of building, chiseling, grinding for ores and stuff, mining, all that fun stuff. So yeah, we're going to be showing off as much as we can of that time that we spent playing the game. So yeah, I guess with that being said, we will get started here. I'll show the map to start. So we're going to be starting on the eastern side of the Trinity region. Again, if you are new to the channel or you are new to just anything with my world, there is a little bit of regions, like named areas in my world. There's a little bit of lore with some of the regions and cities and stuff like that we built. Again, I have a website where I've been trying to document all the lore that we've kind of come up with on stream and stuff there. So I'll include a link to that down below. It's kind of cool to read through. So I guess starting out, I'm gonna kind of go over what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start out at this island here. This is kind of like, it's the easiest flow of our world. So we're gonna start out here, and then we're gonna go to this city. We're gonna cut through Trinity Point, go down to the tree farm, then up to this village here. We'll go by all these builds. So we're basically just gonna do one flow through of everything. So starting out, we are on this little island here. So this is the Yarn Village Lighthouse. We built this, I think, towards the beginning of the year. I'm not 100% sure what time frame we built this. But this was like a small side project that we did once we finished the village over there, or the town. We kind of just took this island, terraformed it a little bit, and built, placed some trees, built the lighthouse, which came out really nice. It's easier to see from a distance, but yeah, so we have this lighthouse island here, and I have a boat here already to take us to the town across the water there. A little bit of rain. On a side note, since we're going to be sailing here for a minute, this is a single player world. I do host it on a server. This is a copy of my world, so none of the time that we accumulate today will actually count towards the time played on the world. This is just a copy of the world that I made, and it carried over the time frame. So there's that. Let's get sailing. So we are coming up on an old build here. We actually built this build in 2024, and then it's been reworked. I've rebuilt this entire build like 3 times, and we actually finished it in 2025. This is Yarn Village. It's supposed to be like more of like a shanty town. It used to be like a trade capital of this region. But then, you know, Trinity Point was founded and that became the trade capital. So yeah, this is Yarn Village. Just a bunch of houses in here. We got some docks over there. Some of these builds are still in the works, so I'm working on replacing the muddy gravel with a variety of wet, dirty gravel. There's different variants of it, and it looks a little bit better. So that's currently being done, but it's hard to come by this stuff. But if we go this way, you'll see we have a little fountain in this area, some buildings. None of the buildings inside this build have stuff on the inside. I just didn't end up doing it when I built this. Project for another day. Except for the tavern here. So this is our tavern. Inside here. If we go down this way, we have our food storage for this town. We got oven, some food storage, not much going on in there. And then we have some rooms up above. So this is probably the only building with actual stuff in it. So we have some table and some beds inside these rooms. And then it goes up again, and there's supposed to be an office up here, but we didn't do that interior stuff here. So let's go down this way. So yeah, that's the tavern. Go back out here, continue around, more buildings. And then we'll go to the other side of the town. And this side was kind of cool to do. I kind of played around with the idea of having these like bridges between the buildings. They came out all right. And this kind of led towards more of the shanty town look, which I liked. Yeah, I kind of had these pillars. It made the bottom here feel more like, I don't know, kind of like ruined, or I don't know, more abandoned-ish, I guess. And then there are some, I think one of these buildings has like a trader inside. I think it's this one. Yeah, we have a trader in here. And I did try to do some decorating in here, but this is still back before I did a lot of interior stuff, so not the greatest. If we go this way, so that's the town, just more builds and stuff. If we go over here though, let's follow along here. Let's go this way. We have a little underpass there. Some more builds over here. It just kind of keeps going. Pretty cool. And then we'll go this way. So we do have a dock area here, and you can see the lighthouse from here looks really cool. From a distance, the lighthouse looks really good. But yeah, we have some docks with some cranes that are here for lifting stuff off the boats. Eventually, I do want to build some boats in here, but I'm not too good at building boats yet. So maybe in the future, when we get around to playing with that, we'll mess around with building some boats. And yeah, that's pretty much this part of the city. Let's head back towards the center here. We have a little plaque here, memorializing. I think that's the word. This is when we finished the build. So May 2025 is when we finished it. Like I said, this build in particular has been rebuilt. If you go back and watch the 2024 video, this build is entirely different than it is now. It's actually kind of cool to see. So this is the main building, the castle-y type building for this area. If you go up into this building, it's just, you know, you get like a nice overview of town from these windows. Well, I guess not, but you can see some of the town from these windows. If you go over here though, this area is also our crop farm. So this is where we grow all our crops throughout the year or throughout the summer. We have plenty of field space. I think we only end up using like a quarter of this instead of the entire thing, but eventually we'll use all of it. Then we can go up a little bit higher here. So let's go this way. And yeah, this is the slightly better overview of the town. You can see all the little bit more of the rooftop of the buildings and stuff, and the palisade wall around it. And then I think we can go underneath. Let's go all the way down here. Yeah, there's a little downstairs area. So this just leads to the mine shaft. So one of the mods that I have is the underground mines mod. And there's a mine shaft system that runs underneath this town. Oh, let's not go down there. And basically it just helps me find ores a little bit easier instead of prospecting constantly. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this. If we go out the front here, we see the crop fields. We have some trees and a nice walkway. And this will start taking us over towards our next build. If we go out here, so this forest here is actually completely custom grown. I think I did this like 2 years ago or around the start of the world. Custom grew this forest, built this path along here. So if we go through this, just wanted some cool place to walk there, and I still have to extend it on the sides. If we look at the map, it only goes to like here and here, but the idea is it's eventually just going to spread out over time. I'll plant more trees and whatnot. I guess let's go this way. We'll do a quick little detour. Over here we have our little crimson tree circle area. There is a mine that I have here, and also a tree hollow. So one of the mods I have adds these tree hollows, and you can get cool stuff out of them. And then there's also a little mine over there, and I planted these King Crimson maples around to make it kind of cool and stand out. It looks pretty cool on the map as well. And yeah, so that's that small little detour here. Lots of traveling in this world. All right, so let's continue on the path here through the forest. Go over this bridge. So we are coming up on Trinity Point. Now, Trinity Point was built originally back in 2024 of this world, but we've done quite a few changes to it since. I think it's actually been updated quite a lot during 2025 as well. So the video from the 2024 tour to this one will actually show some of the changes. We actually rebuilt these bridges as well at some point, so they're going to look different. We have a bridge over here as well. This bridge wasn't here before. This bridge just leads to my shale mine, which is like right there, which is a path that loops around. And then this path over here leads to the entrance to Trinity Point. Let's go this way. And from a distance, it looks pretty much the same. We still have the tower, we have the buildings, we have our bridges that go across. But once we get inside, it'll be a little bit more detailed, I think, than what it was before. So this is like our first build that we did on this world. All right, so we're inside. So the first big change is I changed out the floor with granite rock, and then I made these cobblestone paths throughout the build, just to add some detail. I think we put in some signs. I don't think those were there originally. I added some more items laying around just to kind of detail it up. The builds are relatively the same as they were before, maybe a bit more items involved in them. The insides are relatively the same, more storage and whatnot. We have our giant tree inside the center. We have a new windmill here because we got rid of I got rid of the medieval expansion mod, so I had to find a different source of power other than water wheels. So we added those. And just in general, I think most of it's pretty much the same though. So this is Trinity Point. If we go down here, I did more pathing through this area. We can come over this way. We have our dock area right here. There's more docks. And then if we come across, we have, I don't know if the market was here last time, actually. This might be all new. So this market we put in towards the beginning of the year, same with the tree and stuff, just to add some detail to it. It was very like open over here. We added some benches and stuff on this side. Let's go this way. Grew some trees. I don't think these trees were here either. Maybe they were. I don't quite remember. You can see it's still the old cobblestone right up until this point. I haven't swapped it over yet. And then we still have Leonidas's plaque. You know, the original mayor of Trinity Point. He actually has a lore page on the lore website, so you can read more up on him there. But he was the original mayor. We have our docks over here, and our cranes and stuff. No boat yet. And then we go back this way. Yeah, I'm still in the process of doing some of the rock work here. Okay, so the next spot we are going to go visit is the tree farm. I don't think the tree farm has changed at all since the last tour video. I think it's been exactly the same. I haven't done much work. It is on the list of things to redo in 2026. It's just a matter of getting to it and rebuilding it. One thing we did change though is I built a forest in between this area and the tree farm, just to kind of add some detail on the walk. These are ebony trees. We grew a large variant of them to kind of give it a foresty feel when you're walking through. It's still a work in progress. I started this probably towards the end of 2025, like a month or two ago. So just haven't had the opportunity to place more of these tree saplings and get them to grow. So once you get to here, it's kind of bare. But yeah, we'll go through the tree farm here. I'll show it off. All right, so we have our standard entrance. Like I said, I don't think the tree farm has changed much, but maybe I'm wrong. So we have our standard entrance here. We have the palisade wall. You come through and I have, these are all 5x5 tree placements. So there's about 25 trees per area. We have redwoods back there. Pretty much every type of tree we have planted here. And they all supply the entire area with all our wood supply that we need. And then we come up to this building over here. This is the storage for the tree farm when we have excess logs, if ever. So you come in here, very bland building. Like I said, this is probably all going to be torn down and redone. We have our storage down here. We have our charcoal pits right here. We haven't really used them much recently either. And then there is a mine shaft underneath here as well. So that goes down to that. And then if we go out back, the outback's a really cool spot. So there's a bunch of fruit trees back here, and we have a whole area planted through here. Again, this was all probably gonna get reworked at some point. Some pine trees for sap over there, but yeah, we have a whole bunch of fruit trees here. They're all growing. We have space for I think we have enough spots for every type of fruit tree that's in the game currently. We just haven't found all of them yet, but yeah, it's a pretty cool spot back here, surrounded by mountains and whatnot. So that's the tree farm. Not a whole lot different there. So we're gonna make our way back to Trinity Point at this time, and then we're gonna take a boat across to Delrich Village. Now, if you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know Delrich Village is not a new build. We actually built that in year 1 in 2024. But this past year in 2025, we did a complete rework of Delrich Village. Like, we tore the entire village out, and I built a whole brand new one in there and refurbished it essentially. So it looks a lot better now. A lot more in line with, you know, just my style of build now, I want to say. So we're just gonna start heading over there. All right, we are back at Trinity Point here. I'm not sure how the editing's gonna go here. I might cut out more than I might cut out a lot of the just wandering and stuff from between the builds, because it's cool walking between the builds, but there's not a whole lot going on for a lot of them. All right, we got a boat here. We're gonna take this boat across. Let's jump on here. I think this is the right side for sailing. No, is this side? Oh, I hit the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. I know how to sail. I'm a professional. Okay, so the only way to get to Delrich Village from Trinity Point is to sail across. There's no bridge or anything. It's a very large area. So basically we're gonna sail over there, and you can start seeing it now. I'm gonna change the time today. Again, this is just a copy of our main world, so anything we do on this world, if I have to spawn in a boat or anything like that, or speed up time or change time, this does not affect the actual world. The actual world is on a server. It's not this world. This is just what I'm using for the tour video. Okay, so we're at Delrich Village. Delrich Village, the premise of it, if you aren't familiar, it's a fishing town. That's why we have all the fishing lines in here. We get a lot of our food, fish supply from here. And this village was originally built in 2024. I've redone it again in 2025 to just kind of get it into a better detail spot. So immediately you'll notice the docks much better looking and more details and stuff on like windows and whatnot. So this is the typical landing spot. So you'll go up here and immediately you're greeted with some buildings in here. So cool ones. So we'll go to the edge over this way. You can go through and you got more buildings. A lot of these buildings aren't decorated on the inside. I did take the time to put some detail on some of them. And then if we come over here, so this is supposed to be where the plaque is going to be. I was waiting for this tree to grow, and then I was going to move the plaque over here. So this is the OG Delrich Village, was this time frame right here. So we started it August 5th to August 15th, 2024. And then that was in game, or no, that was IRL, August 5th. It took us like 10 days to build what we did build, which wasn't much. And then this was in game time. And then Delrich Village, IRL, took us an entire month. So September 29th to October 29th, 2025. And that's the in-game time right there. So we spent a good bit of time working on this build, an entire month, just what would they call remastering the village. So this will eventually get moved over here. So we have our little like watch over the area. We got some benches here, and you can look out at sea. Some tables here. I need to add some chairs. I just haven't had the materials to craft. If we go down this way, we have the little bridge that walks across to this island here. You sit on the bench and look at Trinity Point from here. Kind of cool. And then if we go this way, so we'll kind of walk back through the town. I'm not going to go into every building. A lot of them don't have any use or anything like that. I'll go into the ones that have a use. So like that one does, it's just a building. This one's a little bit of a storage for tanning, I think we do in here. This is for like burlap fibers. I think I have some tanning materials in here too. If we go in here into this building, this is like a main storage building, so we have a lot of junk materials that we used for the build in here. Lots of empty bookshelves, some filled bookshelves. If we go up here, we have a second floor. There's a bed, some more bookshelves. I need to find a way to mass produce books so I can fill these up. And we go down here, it's just the other side of the building. Nothing crazy going on in here. I'm trying to think which way I want to go through the village. I think we'll go through the main way first. So if we go up here, the first building on our left is going to be the tavern. So you walk in, a little tavern-y vibe going on here. Some tables, you can go out back and you can sit out back and whatnot. And then there's a downstairs area. You go down here, there's more tables, some banners and stuff. You can go into the back and there's some rooms that you can stay overnight in if you need to. Just a few of that. And then if we go out this door here, you come out to a little dock area, which leads back up to where we just were. That's why I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go. So we have a little dock over this way and whatnot, and it loops over to here as well. And then we can go back in. We'll head back upstairs. Oh, we'll go outside. Still waiting on some more materials. So you'll see there's some spots. Most of these builds are like 95% done. I'm just waiting. Like these are clutter pretty much items, so I have to collect them. They take a little bit. Our next building over here, so this is probably the main building of Delrich Village. If we go inside here, this is where all our food gets processed. We have our corn going. The windmill is attached to this. Lots of storage in here. If we go up above, there's some tree leaves in here. Not sure how these got in here without me noticing, or getting rid of them, I should say. But yeah, so just more storage up here. You can see the windmill kind of comes down through here. Then let's see. If we go down below, this is kind of where the magic happens. This is our cooking area. So we have our oven over there. We have another fireplace right here. Couldn't think of the word. We have storage in here. So this is our cellar. So we have that, some tables, some cooking pots. And if you go out this door, it leads to this little tunnel area, which leads down to a dock for quick supplies to be run up there if need be. So we have our dock built over here. A couple NPC villagers chilling down in there. Not supposed to get stuck in the water, but they do. And then yeah, you can go up this way, and this takes you to the main part of the village right here. If we go back this way, it takes us back to the entrance to this building. I'm trying to like give you guys a tour that also, like, a lot of these builds have like it's all just kind of spaghettified together. So I trying to show you guys off as much as I can while keeping it coherent so you guys can follow along with where it's built at. So we're back inside the main building here. If we go out, we're now up above that tunnel. So the tunnel's right down there. We have another tree and a little sitting area up here. I was originally going to make it so that this connected into that building. And I still might eventually in the future, but I didn't do that. And this just kind of wraps around this tree here. So if we go back here, We're gonna go back out the main entrance here, and we're gonna continue down our path. So let's go this way. That's the tavern. If we go up this way, I think this is just a general building here. I don't think, is there anything going on here? We have some primitive survival lore stuff going on in here. It is from the mod Primitive Survival, but there's some fun stuff that can be played around with that. We're not going to go out that door because there is a bear on the other side. It's actually one of my viewers, his pet bear, that we managed to trap in here. He spawned inside of here, inside of this back area, and he's just been here ever since. It's probably been a year and a half, but yeah, this is Bean's bear. And he's just been chilling in here. He's having a good time, you know? So anyway, continuing on, we have our town center area right here. So this is probably about the center of the town, I want to say. If we go down this way, we have some more docks over there. We have a tree hollow with a tunnel going through over to it right here. Again, we can get some cool stuff out of the tree hollow. If we go down this way, we have some fishing traps, some were traps from Primitive Survival. These are pretty cool for just passive fish farming and stuff. If we go back this way and we go underneath here, it's just another path that leads up to more of the village. We're gonna loop around to that later. And then we go over this way. So we have a house here. Inside, it's just detailed up. There's nothing crazy special about this house. Just more stuff inside here. It's got a back deck and everything. So pretty cool. And then let's go this way. So this is the mayor's house right here, or like the pseudo mayor's house. It was originally during the first rendition of Delrich Village. This was the first mayor's house, and so we just kind of call it that. If you come in here, it's, you know, just basic first floor, nothing special going on. Second floor connects over to the upper part of this build, which is up here. So that's where we went in, and now we're up here. Come back to this in a moment. Let's go down this way. If we go out the back door, it just leads to this tunnel area here between them, and it also leads back down here, which overlooks the dock area. We have another bench here and some trees growing. So yeah, there's that. And if we go up here, we go out this way. So now we're met with another build here. This is just another building. I think this was actually going to be the new mayor's house. I don't remember. It was discussed on stream at some point. Got an NPC up here, some beds. Pretty cool, pretty cool. If we go up this way, we have a lookout. And see, well, you used to be able to see, there was less trees when I built the village, so you used to be able to overlook the entire village and see. You can overlook the ocean here, kind of cool. Maybe we'll build a boat out there at some point, and you can kind of see your first glimpses of the next build we're gonna go to. So you can kind of see Delrich or Hullbeck Castle from here, which is kind of cool. I do like that. So a little bit of sneak peek at the next build that we're gonna be going to that way. All right, let's go down this way and we'll continue through the village. It's kind of cool at this point inside of the world. It's kind of just a straight flow from build to build. So if we go down here, this is the path that we could have come up that one time but didn't. We come across another build. This is a pretty big building here. It's just not much going on in here, but you can kind of walk through the entire building over to this other side, and then you can kind of go down here and you enter into the other side of the build here. If you go out back, it leads you down to some docks over this way, and you can see that's the tavern over there. That's another build right there, and you know, we just have some more docks over on this side. Just fill in the space. We go up this way. We'll go out this door here. So yeah, that's the door we originally went in for this, and it led up and around down to here. And then we have this tunnel over here, and then we have the pond and a waterfall right here. This actually looks really cool with these trees growing. I don't think these were grown last time I was here, so kind of cool to see. So we have all that. We can actually, if we go into this build up this way, let's see. Oh, come on, out the door. There we go. You can actually walk around underneath the waterfall and behind it here. which is pretty cool. And then you can walk along this path here, and there's some more fishing spots right here. You can see out that way. There's some floating grass, you know. And then the path ends, and you have a little bench here. We're just gonna jump down to get back to where we were. So that was the tunnel we originally went. And then we have one final build here. So this is the last build inside the village. Again, nothing too crazy going on inside this build here. Just, you know, a living quarter area. You know? And then we get to walk across the bridge, and we get to start going over to our next build. This bridge is actually pretty cool too. It's like the entrance to the village and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna start working our way. Here's another forest that we are working on growing out here. I haven't built this bridge, and there's a bear there that I don't want to fight. But yeah, there will be a bridge here at some point, and yeah, we're starting to work on another forest through here on stream. So not complete yet. So a lot of empty space here as we go through this next area that will hopefully in 2026 be filled up with trees and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go through. This is a custom tunnel here. This was not here. I built this. Came out pretty good. And then there is a mine that I do not have a path to over this way. So I think this is our conglomerate mine down here. Yeah, this is where I get all my conglomerate rock. Nothing special about down here. Let's go back up this way. Eventually this will all be covered though. That was my plan. I just never got around to completing this one. It's like a side project. You can kind of start seeing the castle here though. So the next build is Hullbeck Castle. This is probably one of my largest and most time-consuming build. This build took us about, I think, either 2 or 3 months. I forget the time frame. I think it was 2 months to build in total on stream. You get a nice view of it right through here. A lot of these trees are going to be swapped out eventually and new ones grown. But yeah, so there's the castle. We're going to be heading over there shortly here. So we're going to kind of wander around. This view is so cool though. Very, very nice. And yeah, this path just kind of loops all the way through here. A lot of these connection paths are like stuff I'll work on off stream. I'll build like trees or tunnels through here and other detail stuff along the path. I don't really do too much of that on stream. A lot of my on stream work is just building the builds. So yeah, all right, let's loop around here. You can kind of see some of the bridges that we have coming up. There's another view of the castle. Yeah. This was a fun build. So this is the main entrance to the castle right here, right off of this little like peninsula thing that we have going on here. Loops around, and then that continues to the other builds. Those are the Hullbeck bridges. There's 3 of them, which I don't know if these were in the 2024 video. I have a plaque on here that tells me when I finished these. So I don't know. I don't know if it was 2025 we finished them or 2024 at the end. We'll find out. But anyway, so you walk across the bridge. We have some banners that we made here. So you walk across, and then we get to the entrance here. All right, so this is this is the entrance here. Walk in, got your go up to a nice courtyard right in here. We're gonna kind of tour from the outside in. So we have some fountains here. You can go up this tower and walk along the path up there. There's not too much. It just loops up to this path as well. If we go this way, we have a little wraparounds. So it kind of comes over to here, and this leads to the main docks for the castle. So we have that. We'll tour that area shortly here. So you have your docks, and then we have our like kind of like a land/sea wall kind of going on with the tower. That was pretty fun to make. We did all the terrain and stuff. We just connected them. So you kind of go up that way through here, and you can walk across all the way to that tower with the flag on top, and it's just kind of to make it close up more of this port area. So you see you have the wall here, and then I wanted something else here to make it so like if boats came in, they'd have to go this way. We have that. You cannot climb this tower. That was intentional for security, you know. Okay, so we're gonna go this way. We're gonna go down to the crypts first. So the Hullbeck crypts are right here. This was actually the last finishing touch of this build that we did. So basically we go in here, get a nice little entrance area, go down here, and we go through, and we are inside the Hullbeck family crypts. If you want, there is lore on the Hullbeck family on the website that's linked inside the description. Specifically, the founder of the Hullbeck family, Max Hullbeck, who is buried here or entombed here. And then, yeah, so this is where the Hullbecks, when they pass away, they get placed in here. It could probably use a little bit more detail with like flowers and stuff. But yeah, this is what I had on hand when I finished building this. Yeah, we have that. Go this way. There's Shiver in here. Nice. Yep. All right, so that's the crypts. Keep him in there as a guard. We are gonna go around this way, so we're gonna kind of backtrack here just a bit. Back into the courtyard. A little statue thing right there. I don't think I showed that off. So now we're gonna go up to the main castle. So we go up this way. We have another big tree here, another courtyard. Could probably use some grass. And then we come into this hallway here. This hallway is kind of challenging. I actually redid it like 3 times because I wasn't sure. I wanted to add detail into these areas right here, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I tried chiseling like statues, but it didn't really work out too well when I tried chiseling them. So I don't know. I kind of left them blank, and I figured I could always come back if I, creatively thought of something different. But right now it's just a hallway. We have some banners and whatnot. It loops around into the central room here. We have the Hullbeck family crest up on the wall here, along with the plaque, which symbolizes the dates. So IRL time, it was June 23rd till September 18th. So I think June, July, August, September. So almost 3 months exactly working on this build. And then that's our in-game time right there, or our in-game dates. So we have the crest right there. We have the crest in the ceiling. This is from my villager mod, town center, so we can spawn villagers in here. And we're gonna go out this way first. So if we go out this way, it leads to our tree farm. I'm gonna turn it back to day real quick. Daytime. I think it looks better in the day. So we have our fruit trees growing on these little pedestals. They're their first year, so I think they grow again, which I'm surprised they all grew, which is kind of cool. We have a tree and then another tower here that you can climb up. And then if you go this way, we have a little archway of leaves. More fruit trees. So these fruit trees are just for decoration as well. So once they're grown, I won't notice them. And then we have a little like tree garden-y thing. I don't know what to call this. But yeah, giant walnut tree inside the center. And then basically benches around and flowers and stuff. So that's our little tree garden area right here. This way. So now we're gonna go up, or I guess we'll go down. So we'll go down to the dungeon first. So we have our grand staircase here. So this is our grand staircase hall. If you go behind the staircase, there is another staircase. Imagine that. And it goes down into our dungeon. So if we go down here, this was kind of fun to make. We put bones on the ground stuff. We have all the jail cells that I've been working on making the doors for. Some bowtorns guarding it. I haven't finished all the jail cells because these doors actually take a little bit to craft. A lot of iron, so I haven't made all of them yet. But yeah, this is pretty cool. And then we have our kind of like torture-y area inside the center here. Yep. Yeah, this was kind of fun to make, the dungeons. All right, now if we go back out this way, yeah, we have our banners in here. All right, so we're gonna go up the grand staircase to kind of like the pseudo first floor, or I guess second floor. So this is the living quarters. So if we go down here, this is where the Hullbeck family that is currently residing in the castle would live. We have a bunch of rooms in here. This is where they sleep and stuff. I don't know. I guess you can kind of look at it as a jail cell, no windows or anything. So the thing behind this is I didn't really plan living room, like rooms that the people could live in inside the castle. This is for expansion. I wasn't 100% what I wanted to do with this part yet. That's why it's not done. Yeah, we have more living areas. I didn't really plan ahead with the living component for the castle. I just kind of built the castle, and then I was like, oh, I need a place for the people to live if they're gonna live in here. And then I just made down here, and it came out pretty good. It's not bad. Again, no windows though or anything like that, but I guess it's safe, you know. Burglars can't climb through the windows and whatnot. Okay, so let's go up into the main castle area up here. So this is like the main castle. So we have our grand hall. Yep. These windows were super cool to make. They're stained glass the entire way through. Same with up there. Those were cool to make, these two, but they were a pain in the ass as well. Lots of annoying glass work. I guess we'll go this way first. So if we go around this path here, we come into the throne room. Kind of bare. I didn't want to do a whole lot of detail in here, just because it was just kind of the throne room. Imagine if there was like a court going on, there'd be people standing around and whatnot. We do have the Hullbeck throne. Did some custom carpeting here with chiseling. I do have to do this back glass panel, but I ran out of stained glass, so I never got around to finishing it. It's on my to-do list. We did do these windows though, and we have another one of these big windows here, along with a doorway, and some trees there. If we go out, we have a little like balcony area here. We have some benches. You can overlook the tree farm and the rest of the castle. And this just kind of wraps around all the way through here. And it just wraps around up into this tower here. If we go up this path here, which leads us back to the grand hall, we have a little like tree garden hanging thing. I don't know what you would call this. This overlooks the central area down below with this glass here. And then this leads into the dining hall, which was kind of fun to set up and build this table. So this is the dining hall. There's a tower over here, whatnot. And then this back area leads down into the kitchen. We have our quern set up. We have a fireplace. So we have our ovens set up here. We have a little like table area for work and stuff. And then storage is back in here. Shabam, lots of storage. And then if we go up and out this door over here, out this door we have another balcony, which leads to another tower, which can oversee all this area. And yeah, you can climb this tower out here and stuff and go up and overlook and whatnot. Pretty cool. And I think that's everything for Hullbeck Castle. This build took me about 3 months. Definitely one of my larger builds that I've done to date on this world. Outside of like ongoing detail work, this continuous build was a lot to build. This definitely got to the point where I was excited when I got done the build. Was definitely like, yes, we can move on to another build. But it was definitely a lot of fun working on it. But okay, we can head back out to the entrance here and go across the bridge and start making our way across the Hullbeck bridges, and to the next build, which hasn't changed since the last tour video. The next build we'll kind of just go through really quick. So yeah, I'm not sure about these bridges. So there's 3 bridges here. You can see one there, and then this close one here. I think there's a plaque of when I finished these. These might have been finished by the last tour video, but I don't think they were. So we'll go find that out real quick, and we will find out. Let's see, I think there's a plaque right here if I need to. Okay, March 2025. So this was like right off into the bat of the new year. So I might have been working on these back in when I made the tour video. But yeah, these are just basic. They're just bridges. They're the Great Hullbeck bridges. There's 3 of them that span across the entire way. And there's a path on each of these little islands that you can walk through. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with these islands. So I kind of just left them as they were for if I came up with something in the future. There is like a little path that leads this way. So if we go around here, it goes all the way down to this section. There's like a tree hollow over here. Yeah, there's a tree hollow right there. That was kind of cool. Let's go this way, back around. This tree here that's missing a log. If we go across here, we go across the first diagonal bridge. This bridge right here took the longest out of all 3 of these because I had to chisel so much to make it look good diagonally. It was and same with on the path here. It was a very tedious bridge to build, and I'm pretty sure while I was building this, I swore I was never going to build a diagonal bridge again. They're just very, very tedious long time, longer than they're worth in my opinion to build, but we needed it to go diagonal. It was the only way this was gonna work without going like some weird like way arounds. So then we have another island here this way. And then, so the next build here, which this has not changed since the last tour video, this is Hullbeck Village. I don't want to say I abandoned this project because I do have plans for 2026 to redo this. Not redo the whole build, but continue and finish it. So yeah, this is just our berry vineyard plantation area. So the idea was that this was going to be where all our like wine and berry and juices all come from and stuff. So we built these like plantation buildings here and whatnot, and then there's like little, I think this one has the best view of these. Let's just go over here. I'm just gonna kind of skim through this one kind of quick. It's just kind of a path, and then there's like walled with bushes areas. So yeah, we have little like vineyard looking things going on here and whatnot with the berries and paths in between them. And then each of the houses, they're all kind of decorated the same way. There used to be a door here, but I got rid of the mod that added the big doors. So these are all kind of the same way. They all have like an open concept area type thing going on, which I want to keep for when we do redo this area. So they all kind of look the same. They all have like balconies like this, big rooms. They all have a basement that looks very similar to this one. They all have a big table with these fancy chairs and these giant barrels and stuff, and whatnot. And then they all have like upstairs areas. This is supposed to be like an office and whatnot. So yeah, very similar all together. This village does tie into the lore with Hullbeck Castle and the Hullbecks in general. Again, the lore link is inside the description down below. You can read that. Yeah, this is our house. Like I said, I can go inside this one. This one's kind of the coolest out of all 5 of the builds. But yeah, very similar in style, all of them, just big open rooms, fancy looking, like they're vineyards. They got a lot of money. They can build fancy houses and whatnot. But eventually these will be getting redone in this upcoming year. Yeah, they all have a basement area down here, you can see. Yep, similar basement as the last one. Big table, barrels, stuff like that. Pretty cool. Let's see. Let's go. So the only thing that's maybe a little different than the 2024 video would probably be the start of this last house here. I started this house, but I never finished it. It has a path that walks through, so I guess I can kind of... The plan for this is to finish this house, make it like more inside the new style that I build in, get the detail and stuff going on, finish this, and then there's supposed to be like a mini like market town here. That we're gonna build, but mostly just like a market. So I started it a little bit, but I never finished it, and I have a bridge that leads across, whatnot. So that's kind of the plan. So 2026 we will be working on this build. But okay, yeah, that's pretty much Hullbeck Village. Like I said, not much change. So we're gonna take a boat to the latest build that we've been working on. This is a brand new city. This is our northern city that we started. Basically, I think we started this at the beginning of November. So the city we're coming up on is called Dunvara City. Let's see the map below. And that's what this is. This city over here. So this is the northern city of the Trinity region. This is going to be a pretty cool build. I'm not going to go into the plans. If you are interested, when I get back from my winter break on January 5th, we'll be going over like what we're going to be working on for this build and stuff, and whatnot, and continuing to construct it. So this is the current build that I'm working on right now. This build is a massive build, by the way, as well. It's a full city. It's about 2 or 3 times larger than Trinity Point. Make it daytime again. In general. Oh, I almost fell down that hole. Okay. So this is Dunvara City. It's got a giant wall, is considered the fortress of the north, lore-wise. So you're greeted by this giant, massive wall here that we've been constructing. A lot of this is all work in progress too. It's not done, so obviously I got to finish the entrance, right, and more of the wall. There's also a trench here, the bridge that you have to get across just to get into the city. When you get into the city, you're greeted by this area here. There'll be some trees going along here. I've already started doing some builds. Everything you see laid out on the ground are going to be future buildings. Some of these are complete, so like we'll start with this one. So like this is gonna be buildings here. We'll start with this one here. This is the bakery. Obviously it doesn't have windows on. Everything here is work in progress, can be changed, stuff like that. So our bakery, we have the second floor, which is basically just a giant oven up here at the moment. We can go down below. We have our whole storage area and processing, still work in progress and everything. Let's go up. We're gonna kind of go through this one kind of quick because there's not a whole lot. You follow the paths. I started laying out all the paths and whatnot. And our build that's going up here. This is actually the one I think we're working on currently. We'll go to this build next. This is our blacksmith building. We'll go inside of here. So we have like a little room back in here with our anvil for metalworking. We can go up above. I don't think there's anything up here right now. And then we can go down below. We have anvil working area with health hammers. We have coke ovens and coal storage, pulverizer, ore ingot smelting. We have ore storage over here. We can go down even further. And we have our steel working facility, or I think it's a cementation furnace. I forget the name of it. But yeah, where we make our steel and stuff. And then if we go back up, and yeah, I think that's this build right here, this building. And then let's go over this way. So I started working on more of like row home or townhome type style build here, for more of a city look. So I started with that, but we also have our clay furnace in here. So this is where all our clay working is going to be done. And then down here, there's some work in progress storage and whatnot for everything. Some pit kilns. So yeah, Dunvara City, everyone. This is going to be a massive build. You can see the size scale here. So this is Dunvara. If we go over to Trinity Point, which is probably its counter in the region, this is Trinity Point. So if you take Trinity Point and you were to put Trinity Point in here, it's maybe like, you could probably fit about 3 Trinity Points, maybe 2.5 into this area. So it's a big build. I think we've racked up about maybe close to a month of in-game time already working on this build. It is going to be quite the undertaking. It's been fun working on a lot more detail work in this build than probably any other build that I've done so far, with like including chiseling and just how the buildings are going to be built. We have our little area over here, which is going to be another like main capital-ish building for the city. And then it goes all the way back to the edge of the water here. Future plans for this build, there is going to be a dock system around the outside here. There's also going to be farms and windmills on the outer section here. So it will include this area here, and then it's also going to be a little bit spread out along the edge. Without going into too much detail, I don't want to spoil too much. If you want to know more, you just visit the stream when I come back from my winter break, and I'll kind of show off a bit more. But yeah, big build, lots of stuff going on here, and it's probably gonna take us a good bit of time to finish this. And then I guess the last area to show off for this entire video is the transportation hub, or the translocator hub. Nothing here has really changed, but I figure I'll include it in the video. We are in the Trinity region floor. So every region in my world, if you're familiar with like the background of my world, there's different regions depending on where you're at. So this build is located in correlation. This is Trinity Point. This is Dunvara, where we just were. This is over here. So if you want to know the regions, so this whole area here is considered the Trinity region. This would be Epsilonian region. There's another region over here once the map loads. This is considered the Dralum Kingdom. We have the Southern Isle Kingdom or region. So there's different regions, and each region's going to have its own floor eventually, 10 years down the road, and they're all going to have their translocators and stuff. But if we go up top, this build has not changed since I first built it back whenever I built it. Probably, I think at the end of 2024, I think. And yeah, there is plans for this build. They're just not at the top of my list right now. Eventually I would like to get into this, maybe this year. We'll see. It depends on how long some of my build ideas go for this year. Maybe we'll finish this or whatnot. So I put all my B stuff here as well currently. So, yeah, as you can see, not finished either. Started but not finished. Half my builds. But yeah, so that's my world tour. That's everything that we've built in my world, with updates and everything from last year into this year. And so basically from 2024 all the way up to 2025 and, you know, the start of 2026 here. So yeah, lots of big plans coming up for 2026, lots of new builds on my list, and a couple of reworks. So Hullbeck Village is going to get reworked. And then I think that's pretty much it. Everything else is going to be fresh builds for this upcoming year. So cool stuff to look forward to. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the world tour video. I appreciate if you stuck around for the entire video. I know it's a long one, about an hour. So I appreciate you sticking around. And if you like the build, feel free to, you know, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button for more content. I will be coming back from my winter break, for streaming. I will be returning, I think, on January 5th. So that's the first stream of the 2026 year. We'll be back working on Dunvara Village. I'm looking forward to getting back into it and stuff. So yeah, feel free to, you know, go to the Twitch page and follow or watch on YouTube. I stream Monday through Thursday, basically 6 p.m. Eastern till 10 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes it starts a little earlier and goes a little bit longer. It really just depends on the time frame. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, take it easy, keep being awesome, and I'll see you guys all inside the next one. All right, bye bye.